Today we are building the best RTX 5070 gaming PC that you can put together in 2025. Now the goal of today's build is not to go overkill, but build a well-balanced system with minimal bottlenecks with still leaving room for upgradability in the future. Now before we jump into the video, make sure you smash that like button down below. Now let's get right into the build. We picked up a motherboard combo deal from Micro Center for $329. It does come with a single stick of RAM, but we're going to swap that out for some better looking Clev Crass for $99. Now, when you pick up this motherboard combo deal, you get two options. You can go with the basic motherboard or the upgraded, and obviously we went with the upgraded for a few reasons. Number one, you get some more features, so a more comprehensive I/O, but you also get some beefier heat sinks for a more robust power delivery, which is going to be suitable for a better CPU in the future. This motherboard combo deal came with the Ryzen 5 9600X. This is a 6-core, 12-thread processor with a base frequency of 3.9 gigahertz up to 5.4. This is a very powerful CPU, and it's good enough for most gamers, and it's also very power efficient at only 65 watts. Now we did go with the upgraded motherboard, so it will definitely support a better CPU in the future if desired. I bought, I think, 5 or 10 of these Silicon Power 1TB Gen 4 UD85 drives a long time ago for only $53 each, and this is my second to last one. So unfortunately, I only have one more of these cheap drives until I have to start paying for market prices. We picked up the ID Cooling FX240 Pro AIO. This, in my opinion, is the best AIO on a budget. It's only 50 bucks, and the reason why we went with an AIO is to be able to support a better CPU down the line. Pro tip here, right now we are mock fitting the 240 AIO just to kind of see how everything lines up and also to make sure that it actually fits in this case, which it does. However, look where the CPU wire is. There is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to plug that in there once this AIO is installed. So make sure you do a mock fit to make sure everything fits, and so you don't run into something like that after you install it, because then you got to take it all back apart, plug in your CPU, and then reinstall it. So that's what we're trying to avoid with doing a mock fit. Speaking of the case, we picked up this Dark Flash mid-tower case. It's so good looking and easy to work in, all for only $67. We are, of course, using KPX or Kingpin Extreme Cooling Thermal Paste. This is the best thermal paste that you can get on the market. I use it for every build that is over $1,000. It is a little bit overkill, but I like to go the extra mile. So another reason why we do a mock fit is also to figure out where this AIO pump wire is going to be ran. What I decided, as you can see here, is to run it underneath the cooler bracket, underneath this screw, underneath that screw, and that screw. So the only place it's coming out is right there behind the heat sink and right into the header. And remember, the AIO pump is going to sit right, or the radiator is going to sit right here, right above the RAM. So the only thing you're going to see when you look into the PC is just that little bit of wire right there. And of course, where it folds over right there. We're going to go ahead and prep the Asia Horse cable extensions now because I have to install the EPS connector on the motherboard before I install it and the AIO. This is a little bit different of a kit that I normally pick up because this includes the 12-volt high power plug. So this was around $29, but there was a $4 coupon that I attached to that from Amazon. I will leave a link for this below, as well as every other part that we used in today's build. For the power supply, we picked up the Dark Flash 850 watt unit. That is right, Dark Flash, the same company that built this PC case, and this is one of my new favorite units. Not only is it 850 watts, but it's fully modular. ATX 5.1 ready, so it has the high power 12 volt plug. It also is ATX 3.1 ready, and it's tier B rated, all for only $88. Similar units on the market are well over $100, so this is a fantastic buy. Before we install the power supply, I'm going to rip this sticker off because you're going to see it through the mesh in the case, and I don't want this ugly sticker showing through. That's better. Now when you look through the case down here, you can't see that ugly sticker because it's just a black power supply. It's there, but you can't see it. So of course we are using a 5070, but specifically this dual fan card from MSI. I picked this up when it went on sale, which by the way, on sale these days is just MSRP, but I got it for $549 and it looks great in this case. In Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Pro settings, which is essentially just texture quality and detail quality set to normal and everything else set to low, in 1080p we got an average of 224 FPS with a 1% low of 156. In 1440p we got an average of 179 FPS and a 1% low of 130. In Cyberpunk 1080p high settings, we got 198.13 FPS. In Ultra, we got 172.39. In 1440p high settings, we got 156.42. In Ultra settings, we got 122.8. In Forza Horizon 5 1080p high settings, we got 280. In Ultra settings, we got 199. In 1440p high settings, we got 246, and in Ultra settings, we got 172 FPS. In Fortnite performance mode with 100% 3D resolution scaling, in 1080p, we got an average of 745.4 FPS with the 1% low of 440.1. In 1440p, we got an average of 510.4 and a 1% low of 120.2. We spent a grand total of $1,269 building this PC, and if you were to build it today, you would spend $1,941. That is an increase of $670, and the reason for that is because I bought all of these parts about 7 months ago. You know, I just realized that this PC is off because the power just went out. Let me turn it back on there. Anyways, I bought all these parts about 7 months ago, and you may have noticed in some of the shots, the PC is pretty dusty. That's because it's been sitting for the last 7 months. And the reason for that is because around that time, I started a new business, which I won't get into in this video, but a couple months after I started that business, I ran into some health issues, and then everything had to take a break. My new business, YouTube, even my full-time job. But I'm doing much better now. I'm still healing. So there goes my printer recalibrating itself because the power just went out. Anyways, it was time to finish up this build and list it for sale. And speaking of that, I could easily sell this PC for over $2,000, $2,100, $2,200, if not more. But I'm going to list it for $1,899. Yeah, that's a little bit less than what it costs to actually buy the parts. So that'll be in my Jawa page linked down below, as well as all of the other parts that we used in today's build. Moving forward, the next video is coming out in about 2.5 weeks. More PCGC episodes are coming. I have 2 of those planned. And I also plan on posting roughly every 2 weeks moving forward, as long as my health permits. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you big time. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.